Louis Vuitton is the most faked brand in the history of fashion, literally top one. But behind this glamorous sentence lies a 150-year war, a war between luxury and crime, between a French luggage maker and half of the black market economy of planet Earth. And to understand how it all began, we need to go back to the man himself, Louis Vuitton, who, ironically, just wanted people's clothes not to get wrinkled on long train rides. In 1854, Louis opened a small workshop in Paris. Back then, luggage was bulky, round, heavy, impossible to stack. Basically, medieval carry-on. Vuitton invented a revolution. The flat-top trunk. It was light, waterproof, stackable, modern. It was the iPhone of its era. And just like the iPhone, the moment it became a hit, the copying started. Right across the street from Louis' store, people sold fake versions of his trunks. Imagine spending your life perfecting craftsmanship only for Jean-Claude on the corner to sell a worse version for half the price. Louis realised something terrifying. If he didn't protect his brand, he would lose his name. Literally. So he started a new kind of design as a weapon. In 1888, he released the Damier pattern. Those chess-like squares were not created because Louis woke up feeling geometric. Damier was made to be difficult to copy. It even had the phrase Marque LV Vuitton déposé written on it, or registered trademark, basically the 19th century equivalent of "try it and my lawyer will eat you alive." But fakers didn't stop, so Louis' son, Georges Vuitton, went even further. In 1896, he introduced the LV Monogram, the print that made history. The flowers, the petals, the stars, none of this was random. Georges carefully designed a pattern with subtle geometry and exact spacing that counterfeiters would struggle to reproduce perfectly. This wasn't decoration. It was cryptography disguised as fashion, inspired by Japan culture. And Georges didn't stop there. Because LV cases became a symbol of status, they attracted thieves. You see an LV case, you know there's something worth to be stolen. He created another innovation, the unpickable Vuitton lock, a lock so reliable that Georges publicly challenged Harry Houdini, the greatest escape artist of all time, to break it. The ad literally said, "Houdini, try to escape my lock." Houdini never accepted. Even the world's greatest magician looked at Vuitton and said, "Yeah, no thanks." The lock became a marketing legend. We can still find this type of locks on modern purses. And every thief in Paris decided Vuitton trunks were no longer worth the trouble. But as the world got bigger, the crime got bigger too. By the early 20th century, Louis Vuitton was filing lawsuits across Europe weekly. Their legal department became one of the earliest in luxury. They were trying to protect a brand identity. Then came the 1980s and 1990s, the golden era of logos. Hip-hop artists and celebrities in general adopted LV, and when Marc Jacobs took over in 1997, Louis Vuitton transformed from an elegant luggage maison into a pop culture phenomenon. We talk Tekashi, Pharrell, Kanye. LV became the dress code of fame. And this is when humanity collectively became obsessed with logos. Before the 90s, luxury brands actually avoided plastering their names everywhere. Chanel didn't want big C's. Hermes preferred quiet elegance. Rich people didn't need logos. They had horses, yachts, and staff to prove it. But then, Louis Vuitton accidentally started a cultural addiction. The LV monogram stopped being just a pattern. It became a status code, a shortcut for "I made it," a universal language that worked in Paris, New York, Lagos, Moscow, Seoul, anywhere. The world suddenly realized something dangerous. You don't need people to know you. You need them to know your logo. And Marc Jacobs, he poured gasoline on the fire. The Murakami multicolour collection turned the LV print into pure pop art. Since Jacobs was a big fan of Japanese culture, he didn't just collab with the artist for recognition. He also expanded the geography of brand. It wasn't subtle anymore. It was loud, bright, impossible to ignore. And it worked. People didn't just want an LV bag. They wanted the LV monogram. The pattern itself became the product. And when the logo becomes more valuable than the material it's printed on, that's when you create logo mania. Suddenly, every brand rushed to create their own monogram, their own icon. Gucci revived the GG. Fendi revived the double F. Even brands that had no business having a monogram invented one from scratch. The entire fashion industry was now chasing the same high Louis Vuitton created, a high called recognition. And the counterfeiters, they didn't go after the craftsmanship, they didn't go after the heritage, they went after the logo, because the logo was now the most addictive drug in fashion. Louis Vuitton didn't just dominate luxury, they accidentally created the very reason counterfeits exist today. People aren't chasing a bag, they're chasing the feeling that a logo gives them. They saw cash raining from the sky. By the late 1990s, Louis Vuitton officially became the most counterfeited brand in the world. According to French customs, 1 out of every 3 seized fake items globally was Louis Vuitton. Entire buildings in Hong Kong were dedicated to LV replicas, each floor specialising in a different part of the bag. Shipping containers labelled textiles were actually loaded with LV knockoffs. This wasn't just copying anymore, it turned into organised crime. So Louis Vuitton escalated. They formed their own global investigations unit and a team of private detectives, criminal analysts, informants, and ex-Interpol consultants. Some employees literally spend their careers chasing down illegal workshops around the world. LV became the FBI of fashion, and they sue everybody. Every year, Louis Vuitton files over 10,000 lawsuits. They sued counterfeit rings. They sued marketplaces. They even sued eBay, arguing the platform encouraged the sale of fakes. In 2008, a French court ordered eBay to pay $38 million to LVMH. Statement made. But Vuitton didn't rely only on lawyers, they turned every bag into a miniature fortress. Few people know this, but LV uses custom brass hardware with a signature alloy, non-standard screw shapes you can't remove with normal tools, exclusive canvas colours that LV legally controls, industrial stitching done on machines calibrated only for LV, hidden date codes tracking production time and location, microprinting on certain models that the naked eye can't fully detect. Some stores even have machines that sniff materials because fakes sometimes smell wrong. And here's the wild part. Many LV bags aren't made of natural leather. They're made from a specially coated canvas that is significantly harder to counterfeit. People think it's cost-cutting, but no, it's security design. Meanwhile, in LV's quality testing labs, they bend straps thousands of times, blast bags with UV light, smash them in machines, and even boil them to test durability. There is literally a machine whose only job is to open and close the bag's clasp 10,000 times. Counterfeiters don't do that, they'd be bankrupt after one day. But just when LV thought it had every angle covered, a new enemy appeared. The superfakes, mirror-grade replicas. Fakes so accurate that even some LV sales associates can't tell the difference at a glance. A high-quality fake can cost over $1,000, more than some real bags on resale. And now the counterfeit market for LV alone is valued at over $50 billion, larger than the GDP of some countries. But here is the twist, the poetic irony of the whole story. Counterfeits didn't destroy Louis Vuitton, they amplified the myth. Even though some people complain about LV became a mass market, LV fakes obviously played a role in these statements, but still, every fake bag is an advertisement that LV didn't have to pay for. Every copy is proof that people desire the original so badly, they'll accept a near version of it. Louis Vuitton isn't fighting for leather or canvas, they're fighting for meaning, for the idea that authenticity is worth something, even in a world where almost anything can be duplicated. 150 years ago, Louis Vuitton started a war he could never fully win, but he won the most important battle. He built a brand that no replica can replace, and that's the real power of Louis Vuitton. They're not protecting bags, they're protecting an idea that even Houdini wouldn't dare to break.